At least my part looks cool. So, several days ago, I heard a weird noise while driving home. Car was acting a little different the next couple of days after that. Friday night was the weird noise. I managed to drive all day Saturday, managed to drive the evening on Sunday. By Sunday night, it was acting a little different, making some funny noises, additional, what I thought might be an exhaust note or, I don't know, something. And my traction control was being extra fritzy. Well, just now I came out to check on if what I was experiencing had to do with a bad brake booster, and didn't really notice anything resembling that. But what I did find was that I was going to back it up the driveway to the flat spot, just so that if I needed to jack it up to look underneath, look for leaks or whatever I could, because where it's at here, you can clearly see it's on an incline. But here it sits, and here it will sit until I get it towed on a Wednesday, because when I went to put it into gear, I made it about 4 or 5 feet back with hesitation and shudder before it just kind of clicked and stopped rolling. It wasn't a hard impact. There was just, but I mean, it was a definite release of something. So I don't know if my reverse/second gear is toast, if my torque converter's not working. I don't know. So I've had to make an appointment. This is going to be pricey, but I mean, I have the money, but that's what the money's for. And I kind of knew this was going to happen, but so anyways, old Buck Lacrosse here is immobile. So if I hadn't had to deal with these kind of things happening spontaneously, periodically, or hearing something and being like, oh, I bet I know what the next thing to go out is going to be. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be like pissed off, screaming, cussing, crying. And before anybody says, why don't you get a new car or a better car, here's the deal. I didn't pay money for this car. I was gifted this car. So, if I end up having to replace a transmission on the vehicle, I will have put half of what it's worth into it. 200,000 mile car. If it can keep rolling, I'm going to keep it rolling. So we're going to go in and find out what's up, what the cost is, etc. And meantime, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this a bit, but I got some what ifs and some questions here to do with the front tires, and I've got room here that I can back the truck out if I can get it working. So I think that's kind of the next project meantime, see if I can't get these brakes done, and maybe I can get it running without getting a new battery first. But I mean, at this point, like, I can't even go do that. So yeah, that's my current update. I got obviously some work to do on the truck here. I've got time and weather to do it, which is nice. But this in here, once I rolled it back to where I had started, put it in park, and attempted to put it back into reverse, it was like putting your foot on a clutch pedal, only this thing's an automatic. There was just, you know, like regular engine rev and no activity from the transmission. Now, there was a sound coming from back behind that, you know, whatever it was, I don't, you know, from where this vehicle is, the engine is right here. The bell housing comes off of it. So you got your V, you got your trans bell housing, and the sound was coming from back under there. So I don't know if it has something to do with the traction control. I don't know what all is separate. I guess one of the things I'm going to have to do is do some looking on how these transmissions are constructed, how the whole front wheel drive system on this car works, so I can figure out what part it is and at least know what they're talking about when the garage tells me what's got to be done. So anyways, that's the current update. Last week I was trying to do the trailing arms and I couldn't. I think I mentioned that. So these things happen, I guess. Hope your time is better than mine.